we're going to review the Rarity 8 bow, the Legia Snowfletcher. So, its basic information is as follows. Its raw damage is 180 and 198 with the Power Talon and Power Charm equipped. It has 0 base affinity. It is an ice element bow with an ice element of 390 base and 510 whenever it is capped. It has no dual slots and only has one augmentation slot due to the fact that it is a Rarity 8 bow. It has close range coatings, power coatings, poison coatings and sleep coatings. Okay, so with the information covered, let's take this from a damage point of view. 180 raw and 198 raw with the Power Charm and the Power Talon is less than normal damage for a bow. 0 affinity is that there nice balance point. It's neither good nor bad. And that there 390 ice element with the 510 cap is actually higher than most other elemental builds. Okay, on to the supporting stats for the bow. So it's got 0 slots on it, which is less than normal for bows. It has 1 augmentation slot, which is normal for a Rarity 8 weapon, and it has close range coating, power coating, poison coating and sleep coating, which are all good in of themselves. Okay, so quick recap. Each of them are marked in their own colours: red, blue and green. Red means that it's less than average for the bow. The blue means that it is about the average for bows. Most bows will have about 0% affinity, and the green means that it is basically the good points about the weapon itself. So damage is in red because it's lower than normal. Affinity is blue because it's normal, it's neutral. The ice element is in green because it's stronger than most others. It's got no slots, which is why it's in red. 1 augmentation slot because there's normal for a Rarity 8 bow, and the coatings are green because coatings are just good, quite simply. Time to break it down. Okay, so the raw damage of the Legia bow per se, right, is 180 and 198 with a Power Talon and Power Charm, right? Because this bow has a lower based raw damage than most of the other bows, it means that it doesn't get as great of an effect off of the food Attack Up Large, the Might Pill, Might Seed, Demon Drug, Demon Powder, Mega Demon Drug and Critical Boost. These items and skill will not have as a great effect on this bow as it would other bows. Because the Legia bow has 0 affinity, it means that it has great synergy whenever it comes to having weakness exploit, critical element and critical boost. Even though I say critical boost wasn't worth it, regardless of the way it works, it's still a damage increase to the bow itself. Weakness exploit, because of the 0 affinity, weakness exploit brings that up to 50 affinity whenever you are hitting a weak spot, and critical element is just there's the best way to increase your elemental damage. Okay, so on to Legiana's elemental damage. Now it has 390 and 510 whenever it's capped, which is one of the highest caps in the game. So that means this pairs incredibly well with critical element, so it does. And the fact that it has 0 affinity means that with weakness exploit you're going to be critting 50% of the time, which means that your elemental damage is going to get a damage increase because you already have high damage. You've just increased your damage even more basically. Okay, so let's talk about the slots and augments now, right? So it's got no slots, right, which means that no extra skills can be really added, and Legia builds are kind of limited, so they are. And it only has 1 augment, and I'll be honest with you guys, the augments aren't really all that good for the Legia Snowfletcher due to the fact that the damage doesn't really do much. The only one that can really be justified is the affinity, or the defense maybe, if you want to be a little bit more survivable. But the slot only gives you level 1 slot and health, and then you get health regen. So realistically guys, if you're going to go out your way to augment this weapon, augment it how you want it is the best way I can put it. And finally we have the coatings that the Legia Snowfletcher uses, which is close range, power, poison and sleep. So realistically, poison, you poison the monster once and you're done. Power is your damage, like you've got 50 power coatings, that's your damage. And then you've got sleep. Now bearing in mind, sleep is more of a cooperative point, but it can be used solo. Used for sleep bombing of course. And yes, everything is basically all good at this point. Okay, now it's time to take a look at the monsters that are actually weak to ice. I have compiled a list and we're going to go through the list and break it down consistently to make sure that we know exactly what we're going to be talking about. Okay guys, so I've compiled a list that of all the monsters that are both 3-star weak and 2-star weak to ice. So we've got Valhazak, Lunastra, Teostra, Black Diablos, Azurathlos, Uragan, Basilgeuse, Dodogama, Kirin, Kukuleku, Diablos, Odogaron, Radaban, Great Gyarados, Titsiaku, Anjanath, Tobikadachi, Baroth, Puki, and Great Jagras. Jesus. And I haven't included Xeno'jiiva or Kulvtaroth because Xeno'jiiva is a 2-star weak to everything, and Kulvtaroth has 2 phases. And what I mean by 2 phases is you've got the cloaked version and then the uncloaked version. So we're going to go through this list and break it down piece by piece. So the first thing I did, which you can clearly see, is I removed all the threat level 1 monsters from the list because technically you can use anything to kill them because they're threat level 1. They're not going to be the be all end all. It's the threat level 2 and the threat level 3 that we're really focused on. So next I've done is, as you can see, is Valhazak is marked in red as well as Kirin, and Lunastra, Teostra, Black Diablos, and Odogaron are marked in green. This means the ones that are marked in red means that there is just a better bow for the job, and the ones that are marked in green means that the Legiana basically beats out the rest. Now the 3 that I have marked with just white, which is the Azurathlos, Uragan and Basilgeuse, basically I don't know quite yet, but the reason why they're in the list is because of that sheerly high ice element. It means that it might be able to outdamage the dragon offering, the water offering, or the lightning offering for their corresponding beasts, basically their corresponding monsters. So yeah, all in all, that's, in fairness, do you want me to be honest? That's a very small list. Okay, so after removing Val and Kirin, we're basically left with Diablos, Lunastra, Teostra, Azurathlos, Uragan, Basilgeuse, Odogaron, and Black Diablos. So out of the 31 monsters currently in the game, there was only really 5 that are truly weak to ice, and 3 are currently unknown whether ice can outmatch their corresponding elements. Now bearing in mind this is obviously still not counting Xeno'jiiva or Kulvtaroth, but still that's not an awful lot of monsters. Yes, it may take up, it's useful against 2 Elder Dragons and what, 1, 2, 3 tier 2 monsters, but that's not really a big variety of monsters that you can take this bow on a hunt for. Okay, time for the pros and the cons of the weapon itself. So let's start with the pros, shall we? So the pros are, it has high ice damage, pairs incredibly well with critical element, has poison and sleep coatings, it has neutral affinity, and is good at speedruns and playing in a team. That's all good and grand. The cons, however, is it's got a lower than normal raw damage, not as good with crit boost, 0 slots, 1 augmentation slot, plus it doesn't really have a good augment bar maybe affinity, and is only strong against 5 out of 31 monsters in the game. Okay guys, so covering all that there, I would say if I was to put this bow in a tier, I would give it roughly an A-, due to the fact that it is quite, yes, it is a good bow for numerous reasons, but it is just quite simply, it's only effective against 5 monsters out of 31 in the entire game. That's quite simply it. That is basically the only reason why it is at A- in terms of tier. Guys, so now I'm going to add a little bit of a personal touch. So as you can see, it says tier list and then the Legia Snowfletcher at an A-. Right, this is my tier list. As I review bows, I will add them to the list and we will see how I rate them and things like that there, and we'll see if my order is off or things like that there. But as I do my reviews and as we gather up more bow information and review bows, basically, we'll add them to this list, and then we'll have a comprehensive list of basically all the bows. So we will, from tiers from, I'm going to say A to S, because I can't see anything breaching that S marker, so I can't, because realistically all the bows are good, but there's no standout king of them all, basically. But this is just my own little personal touch to a tier list, so to speak. So guys, that was just this small little memo, basically. So guys, this has been Limouth Gaming. I hope you have all enjoyed. Please like, share, and subscribe. And guys, I will see you all in the next video. Goodbye!